Welcome to Nomad Audio Vlogs. I am Davy Knight. I am your host today. Thank you. Welcome to the channel. This is probably the first vlog that I've done, and we're going to be doing a gear review today on the first generation Focusrite Solo and the third generation 2i2 Focusrite interface as well. And so this is the first generation. This has been completely discontinued. I don't think they make it anymore. I can't find it anywhere used online. I believe they're already out with the fourth generation Solo, so obviously they've gotten a whole lot better with the specs. Um, my take, I've had this since 2019. This is where it all started for me. I did recorded a lot of music. In my opinion, I created many of my own classics on this. And later on, of course, I upgraded to the 2i2 because of obviously the extra inputs, the air feature that comes with it, which gives it that bump in the analog sound, kind of like on the SSLs, where it's the 4K and it gives it that analog bump. The air function on this one is the same. And as you could tell, they've changed things up throughout the years. The background, see, obviously the one on the first generation, the USB that they're using compared to the USB that they're using now, well, you can get a good look at it. It's right there. You see what I'm saying? And it's a different type of cable. So this one comes with the USB-C to the USB-A for Windows, but it does not come with the USB-C to USB-C cord. So if you have a Mac, obviously I got my Mac sticker on my here, but if you have a MacBook, you're gonna have to go down to order from Amazon or go down to Best Buy and get you a USB-C to USB-C cable. That way it connects directly to the Mac, because it doesn't come with the USB-C to USB-C cable. You have to get that one separately. I'm upgrading to an Apollo Twin, and so I'm going from a USB to a Thunderbolt setup. So I had to get the Thunderbolt adapter and the Thunderbolt to Thunderbolt cable. I know depending on who you get it from, some people they include it in the price and they ship it to you, but I just wanted to buy it on my own instead, and because just to make sure that I could upgrade to that Thunderbolt setup when I want to, right? But obviously these are USB setups, and they work just great. I don't want to kind of get off topic here, but who are these interfaces for? And the thing is with this one, I don't know about the other generations, but on the first generation with this one, as far as I know, every time you move the buffer size larger than 32, it'll, if you go to 64 or 128 or 216 or whatever, it'll reverse it back to 32-bit. You know what I'm saying? It'll bring it back to 32. It won't let it go anything beyond 32 on the sample buffer. So it's mostly for recording. Although you can mix, it doesn't really have mixing capabilities in it. It's not something. So it's not for somebody who's a high-end engineer or producer. Obviously, if you're somebody who's very advanced, you got a very successful business, or you've won Grammys, or you have a lot of accolades in this line of work, then obviously this video really isn't for you. And I go to y'all's videos when I'm trying to learn something at a higher level than you guys are doing it when it's time for me to learn it. But who is this interface for? This interface is for the person who just wants to record themselves. Just plug and play and record. Plug, record, and play. I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue twisted here. Just plug and record and play, right? Plug and play, as they say, right? They want to get the specs. These things they don't understand. A lot of people don't understand. If they're not in the world of audio or music production, they don't understand what those specs mean or how it applies to them. All they want to do is just record themselves so that they can hear how they sound, just like I am kind of right now. And if my microphone is kind of off, I apologize for that. It's that I'm using the microphone on my iPhone through the camera, and this here is not connected. So yeah, that's just to let you know if there's if there happens to be anything wrong with the audio, I apologize for that in advance. It's my first audio vlog, so, and I'm really starting this channel new, and I want to start it with the Focusrites here. So obviously I'm going to try to get better equipment, better lighting, better cameras, so that I can keep rolling with this. But yeah, so the Focusrite 2i2 obviously has an extra input and output, and it has that air capability that we mentioned before in the video, and gives it is totally different from, of course, a Scarlet like this, where all it has is the XLR connection. It doesn't even have the ability to put in the line. Well, it does, but separately. It's here. It's not, you know. So obviously, it's limited in its capabilities. But one thing I can tell you, man, is that these things. If you go to the producer page, to the producer memes on Facebook and Instagram, you see where they're making fun of the Scarlets. They're kind of, you know, bashing on the Scarlets or whatever. You could check it out for yourself on the online. I'm pretty sure you'll come across them. If not, some of them are hilarious though. But you know, these things get the job done. They're built like tanks, man. They're metal. It's not like a plasticky type of thing. It's a metal chassis. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're very good. They're very sturdy made. You know what I'm saying? This, I've never dropped this one, thank God. But this one, I accidentally have dropped it in times. Cables accidentally yanked from it. Where somebody's walking by. A friend of mine tripped over it. It flew. It fell on the ground, and it still works. I connected to my computers and to my laptop. I connect monitors to it, and it works. I mean, it's crazy. These things are built real tanky, you know. But yeah, so I started with this. I got it with the bundle, with the recording studio bundle, the one that comes with the headphones and the condenser mic. And this is where I started recording my projects, and this is where I started to learn. I started with the Pro Tools first in Ableton that comes with the software. And back then, I didn't know anything. I didn't know what I know now, or you know what I'm saying. So, and you're talking about 5-6 years ago, right? From when because that's how long I've had it. Well, I've had it since 2019, and we're, you know, not too far away from 2025. So, you know, it's been a while, and I've grown with this thing to the point where I had to upgrade. I didn't have a choice anymore, and then from here I'm upgrading again to another an Apollo Twin on a Thunderbolt setup. So I'll be doing vlogs on that as well. So anyways, but back to the Focusrite. This is for the person who just wants to. They're new to music production, and they're on a strict budget on how much they can invest towards this venture, and they just want to know how they sound. They want to know how they sound on a guitar or with their vocals or both, right? They want to know how they're, whatever it is that they're making using this interface. They just want to know how they're going to sound before they start, you know, pursuing it and taking it serious, right? So these are very good to get into that and to learn the very basics of how to record yourself. And you know, it gets the job done. It has a 48 volts. It's got the phantom power. It's got the. I mean, it's good. It'll work, right? And obviously, if you have more inputs and you have more, if you get a newer one, because this one's old, like I mentioned. They don't need. I can't even find it used online. I don't think they even make it anymore. But that's why I keep it around, because it's a relic for me. This is where it all started for me right here, and in my opinion, I made a lot of great projects, a lot of classics of my own, right? Not struggling, but I mean, this is where, you know, this was the beginning. This was the humble beginning of Nomad Audio Vlogs right here. And so, when I upgraded to this one, obviously on a Mac, you know, I started using the air function, and I noticed that, you know, the preamps got so much better. That's one thing too that I've heard many people saying on many review sites, is that Focusrite gets so much better with every generation. They keep upgrading the quality of the preamps, and that's awesome. That's awesome, because this is the 3rd generation. So I mean, I like it. I enjoy it. I've done a lot of mix. With this one, I can actually mix. With this one, I can't. I'm very limited. I'm telling you, it brings you back to 32. I'm running this one on a Windows, on an HP Pavilion. So whenever I'm in Pro Tools, and I'm trying to, you know, create more space for a mix, it won't let me. It just doesn't have that capability. This one does. This one does, but this one I'm running it on a different software. I'm running it on a MacBook with Pro Tools Ultimate, and that's why it has everything, even things that I'm, you know what I'm saying, that are beyond me as well. Y'all know what I mean. So obviously the specs on this one is 24-bit, 192 kilohertz, and I don't recall what this one is, to be honest. I'd have to go to you can go to the website and find out, but this is the first generation. So this is the old school one. So the specs are probably, I imagine the fourth generation Solo probably has what this one doesn't have. I'm pretty sure of it. And because what's the whole point of bringing out a new generation, right? So, obviously they fixed the bug and the glitches like with the software update. But one thing I can tell you is that when you're starting to record yourself, right? 24 bits, 192 kilohertz, none of that means anything to you. That don't mean nothing to you. You just want to know how you sound. You get yourself one of these because you want to plug and play on your laptop. You want to connect your guitar. You want to connect your piano, whatever. You want to connect your microphones, and you want to start creating stuff, right? And you just want to know how you sound. This will get the job done. These will get the job done. They are, regardless of what you hear online about them, these things are built sturdy, and they work. That's what I mean. They work. They get the job done, bro. Shit. This is, and it's very, for the price, man. For the price that you get for one of these, it's so worth it just to get started. Okay, because upgrading to something like an Apollo Twin is gonna cost you anywhere from 500 to maybe a little over 1,000, currently speaking, for an Apollo Twin dual. So if you're new to music production, that's not going to be the interface for you, because first of all, you don't understand the specs of that interface, and the fact that it's on a Thunderbolt setup, which means that it's going to be able to it has more capabilities than a USB. Some people can't tell the difference, but it's not about who can tell. It's about knowing how it's being utilized. And Apollo comes with something called DSP processing, where it's on the interface and not on the computer, not on the Mac, as opposed to these right here. So it leaves my computer free to use other software in there, other plugins in there, without necessarily slowing down or making my computer freeze, or making the process of the mixing slow down or lag, or in any kind of way. But the thing about it though is that when you're new, that's not for you. You won't know how to apply it really. It'll take you a while. You'll have to, unless you really want to educate yourself on it. But that's not most musicians. Most musicians just want to jam. They want to create. They want to play their guitar. They want to sing. They want to express their art. They're not caught up in the technical aspects like us technicians. Because producers and engineers are just audio technicians that know exactly what something is and how something applies. Right? And the artist kind of disconnects from that and just focuses solely on the creative, and usually leaves that to someone else who can pick up those tasks, or they keep it to a minimum, like one of these. They keep it to a minimum so that they know that it's just the USB to the computer, and then they arm record the track and they're ready to go. That's it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't get more complicated than that. It's just, you know what I'm saying? So but once you start wanting to bring in a band and things like that, then you need more IO and more routing and more space and more everything, then yeah, that becomes totally something else. But most musicians, like myself, when I started as just a songwriter, I just wanted to record my songs and have something to write, because I was writing songs and then I would forget to record them, and then I would lose the papers or the spirals, and then I just couldn't recreate that anymore. Whatever I wrote out of the ether was gone, and I couldn't recoup it. No matter how much I tried to rewrite it, or my memory either wouldn't serve me the same, or the words just didn't come out right, or the way in which I had conceived the lyrics were no longer the same, because I was in a different place or in a different element, where during that time I didn't capture the essence of what I was writing. So that's why I started to get one of these. That's why I ordered the first one, because every time I had an idea, anytime I had an idea on how something sounded in my mind, a song or a beat, I would immediately come and get on Pro Tools or Ableton and start right away jotting down those ideas. Even though I knew there weren't going to be songs and that there weren't going to be hits, it's just, if I were to get like a quick 3-4 bars, I would just record that and keep that there in a file. You know what I'm saying, something, an instrumental or something that I really enjoyed, I keep that, just put it in, create it as a file on Pro Tools, and then just save it in the folder and bounce it out. And so now I was able to capture my ideas, and this is very good for that. It's good for capturing your ideas without having to break the bank. You really do get the value for your buck right here with this. And you know what? Focusrite's not even paying me for this. They're not. This video is not sponsored by Focusrite, by the way. But you know, I'm putting it because obviously I've owned these products, and I stand by them. I stand by what they deliver, what they say they deliver. Um, it brings the audio engineering aspect down to the artist, to the most simplest form. And I think only Focusrite and a few other brands have done that. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, when I was just a songwriter, I didn't care about 192 hertz or 34. It wasn't until I started to attend music school that I started to get educated on all that through the classes I was taking in my course and through my program. And that's when I started to realize what those things meant and how they actually apply. And it's one thing when you're recording yourself, but you realize how these things apply when you start to record other people, and other people expect quality recordings. So that's when those details and how you set those details really apply. And it's different. You know, you when you learn about them, you test them on yourself, and then that's one thing to do. If you when you learn about it, test it on yourself, you start to enjoy your own results. Your recordings start to come out much better, and then so when you're recording someone else, you have that confidence because you know how you sounded compared to when you learn how to apply better things like that. You applied this knowledge, and now your results are just so much better that you have confidence doing it for someone else. And so, you know what I'm saying? So in the beginning, you just want to jam your guitar, you want to capture your ideas. You know, this is the way to go. You know what I'm saying? And you don't break the bank. As I mentioned, something like the Apollo Twin is something that's gonna cost you more. It's gonna be way more expensive, but it is also, in my opinion, it's also for the more advanced producer engineer who actually understands the specs it has, the software it has, how the software is operated through the console, and not necessarily through your MacBook, and how that works to run at such an efficient speed and have a vocal chain already in place like you do at a major studio, except it's all digital. And you know, if you're somebody who's real savvy and real smart, and you don't mind dropping $1,000 to go straight for the Apollo and take your time to get educated on it, hey, go do it. More power to you, because when you're ready to really start doing something, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing because you already know how to apply all these settings to how you specifically want them, and there's already a vocal chain digitally in place in your MacBook that would probably be the same thing but in analog in a big commercial studio. And you know, I think only UAD and a few other brands offer you that kind of experience. I believe that's SL as well. You know, but don't, you know, all this is available online. So you know what I'm saying? I'm just doing audio vlogs. That's all I'm doing. And we've been running this close to 20 minutes already. So thank you if you've been watching this far, man. You're a real one. If you've really been here for almost 20 minutes listening to me go over the details of the Focusrite. So obviously this was discontinued. You can't even buy it used online. It's like they don't make it anymore, so I keep it around. So this one right here is the 3rd generation, of course, available. There's plenty of places where you can get a good deal on these. Just go check them out yourself. There's plenty of resources online. But if you just want to record yourself without thinking about the technical aspects and all that stuff, just go with one of these. And later on, when you feel you're ready, like I was years later, that's when because think about it, I've been with Focusrite and having these, using these and working out of these since 2019. And with 2019 here, and 2023, I believe. Yeah, 2023. So I've been with this one a whole lot longer. I just recently upgraded to this one, and it was because it was time. It was time for me to upgrade. I was ready for that upgrade, and I appreciated the upgrade. And now once again, I feel like I've not reached the pinnacle, but it's time for me to go just up one more. Obviously, I don't have the 18i20 Focusrite. I might get one because if I get the Apollo, I can ADAT the Apollo into the Focusrite 1820 and get all those inputs, outputs to get that I/O as well. So I might be trying that, and who knows, maybe in the future you'll see me try that. I do have a GL2400 Allen and Heath mixer that I need to get the power gear for, but if I can power it up, then I can, set it up with my MacBook on daisy chaining or hooking up the Apollo with the 1820 and get all that I/O into the Allen and Heath mixer and start recording or mixing analog. We can do that too as well. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Those are things that are going to take time and a lot of dedication towards getting done. But if you're new to music production, to make it simple, right? To wrap up this video, just go with the Focusrite. You know what I'm saying? You can get the 4th generation Solo. It's out. This is the great grandpa. They don't make it no more, like I mentioned. So get the 4th one, or get you one of these if you feel. I honestly would say you could start with this one, and you won't have to upgrade for a long time, because I had this one since 2019, and I didn't upgrade until 2023. So it took me a long time before I upgraded to this one, and so trying to upgrade, getting it right. So yeah, man, just plug and play.